My name's Armand.
My name's Camille.
I'm Ian.
I'm Izan.
Do you know why you're here today?
No.
We're here to ask you what your feelings are about the experiment and like how you relate to it.
Alright. So I kind of relate to it because I don't know if you can tell, but my family, they're from India.
Are you serious, my brother?
Is Armand actually Indian?
No. Like, did you really think he was Indian?
Stop it. Get some help.
On a serious note, you might be wondering why we chose this problem. Well, we chose this problem because we wanted to help the farmers in India. Acid rain is greatly affecting their job and their crop growth. Acid rain is causing soil acidification, it's causing global warming, it's damaging the earth in general, it's destroying their crops, and all this is according to the World Bank. So, plus, farming is already a dying job. Acid rain is making that worse, especially in India. You don't want farming to die out. Farming, like, come on, who doesn't want crops now?
So first we thought about what we wanted to do. We began by thinking about CO2 in India and how we want to kind of solve that. We went into researching that, but we realized that our problem was too big. We really couldn't figure out a permanent solution to that. So we switched to a smaller subtopic of that, which is acid rain. And we created an experimental plan kind of going into that to try to help farmers.
So we planned our first experiment based off the research we had done. We decided to get soil containers and use sparkling water as a sort of acid rain, then put our solutions on it to test which one would keep the pH closer to neutral. Planning it was kind of difficult because we had to find another solution besides limestone, which was baking soda. The reason we chose baking soda is due to the fact that it has better, it's more basic in its properties, so it'd be able to defend against acid rain better. It's also more affordable and it's easily accessible.
Carbonic acid is carbon-containing compound which has the chemical formula H2CO3 as stated by Britannica.
Acid rain is a mixture between water molecules and CO2 mixing into the atmosphere and precipitating liquid rain, according to Environmental Protection Agency.
The beginning round one was just terrible. It was terrible. The one group mate that had something to do,
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
yeah, he didn't bring the water, the sparkling water, which is the acid. But yeah, he just didn't bring it.
So after our experiment, we found a couple things we could do to make it more efficient. One of those things being reducing the amount of water we put in the soil samples, because we think that made it super money and affected how our experiment ended overall. We could also change the portion sizes we used because we kind of like flooded the soil. That might have affected how well the solution, our solution and the farmer's solution work. We can also try dry solutions because that might work better than what we did. Try it dry to see if ours is more efficient, because at the end of the results, ours was slightly better, but it was very similar. And other than dry solutions, we can also test to see if we can find better soil. But I think the soil was pretty decent. Just need to test if like the pH is good on it or not.
There were many indicators of a chemical reaction in our experiment. Some examples of these that we observed were a color change from brown to a greenish brown. Another example that we saw was a pH change. It increased. But last but not least that we observed was bubbles.
So I wasn't here for round one. I wrote my hand plan for name. So going into it, I was a little confused. I didn't know what to expect. I felt kind of useless, so I was just kind of standing there recording random stuff. And yeah.
So during the lab, I was really nervous that we're gonna mess up, and we did. We made a huge mistake adding a lot of water, and that really screwed our experiment results because the pH was off. And the results were really good, but just the pH was really high. According to, the script's up.
Good.
Alright, so apparently in round two, we switched from a water-based solution to a powder-based solution, and we put the solution in dry, adding less amount of water.
Okay, so at the end of round two, we noticed that we had a lot of progress compared to round one because our solution in round one was just it was really bad compared to round 2 because there was just way too much water. But since in round 2 we used a dry solution, the soil is just a little too dry, but it's still workable. And it showed better results than the limestone solution, which in my opinion is really good progress.
Going into round 3, I was a lot more confident considering I was actually here for round 2.
Oh my God! Wow!
So I knew what was happening. I brought in the sparkling water,
Nice.
so that was good. And overall, I was excited to get into testing.
During round 3, we had to like really kind of analyze our previous rounds, round 1 and 2, because we already knew that baking soda and limestone were pretty close when it came to their effectiveness. So in round 3, we just added more acid, and like it really helped us understand how like that baking soda really is just actually just better.
I'm stronger. I'm smarter. I'm better. I am better.
Because we were directly on 7 with both, even though we added in round 2 and 3, even though we added more acid. And I think overall I think we did good.
Another day, another victory for the OG, taking down the sweats.
So our solution worked. It was perfect. The consistency, the amount of liquid or water we needed, the pH, everything well. I was not nervous this time like the first one. I knew what was going on. I was prepared. I was above and beyond. I can't hope any results or any better things we can do. But I think we need to up the skill next time though.
What changes would you suggest if this experiment was run again?
I would suggest that we have higher concentrated acid next time. Another thing I would want is a bigger scale experiment to see how it would react or what kind of results we might get. Another thing I would want would be, let's see. Another thing I would want is more pure soil, like more neutral, because that would give better results.
Some of the things that I learned from this is that, well, the creation process isn't as easy as it seems. Like when you're trying to come up with like a way to experiment or like an idea for an experiment, it was honestly not as easy as I thought, especially when we started out broad.
And something we learned, which is kind of like the main message of this documentary, is that it's never like really that productive to start big. It's rather better to start small and work your way up. That way, like you'll be able to work more efficient. Always starting big isn't that good of an idea, because if a big problem hasn't been solved yet, it's probably telling you something. That's you can't solve it.
Yeah, I agree with Arman and Yazan, because starting off big, we had a lot of troubles finding solutions and our first solution was like a filter, but we couldn't do that. Then we had to change up, like next step, we had to look more smaller, and we had to experiment on that.
I also think coming prepared is something that we should consider because when we didn't come prepared and Yazan forgot the sparkling water, we had to kind of stress about that. It was a lot to worry about, and we had to kind of prepare last minute for that.